What's up, guys? Welcome to the Inside Jays podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and in this video, we're going to be talking about this past weekend's games. We're going to do a quick summary of the weekend series against the New York Yankees, and we're also going to dive into a little bit of Blue Jays news. So let's start off with game one of the doubleheader between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Uh, the Jays were able to win, I believe it was on Friday. They were able to come back and defeat the Yankees 4-2 in the first game of this 3-game series. And then the game on Saturday, unfortunately, was postponed due to inclement weather. And go figure, after the postponement, the weather was beautiful in New York on Saturday. So, but they ended up already having made the decision to move it to Sunday and have a doubleheader. So let's dive into game one of said doubleheader. We're going to go over an article on Blue Jays Nation that just kind of summarizes the game itself, as I unfortunately was not able to watch the game as I was working on Sunday. So I missed, if you missed our premiere debut episode, you'll know that I missed both games due to working. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. This article is by Riley Delaney from Blue Jays Nation. Well, that wasn't good. The Toronto Blue Jays fell 11-2 in the first game of a doubleheader on Sunday to the New York Yankees. Thankfully, or I'll skip that part because it talks about the second game. But first, let's take a look at what happened in this game. It looked like a great start for the Jays. Bo Bichette reached on a single and advanced to second on a throwing error. After a wild pitch, Bichette moved to third base, allowing Vladimir Guerrero to drive him in with a ground out. 2 walks and a single loaded the bases with 2 outs, but Ernie Clement flew out to end the threat. Kevin Gausman breezed through his first 2 innings, but had one of the worst single innings in Blue Jays history in the bottom of the third. After getting the first out, he walked Oswaldo Cabrera and Ben Rice, then allowed a single to Aaron Judge. Cody Bellinger hit a sacrifice fly to tie the game at 1 before Gausman walked the next 3 batters to make it a 3-1 game. It went from bad to worse later that inning as Austin Wells hit a clutch double to drive in 3 runs, making it 6-1. In the bottom of the 5th, Anthony Volpe hit his 5th home run of the season, which would lead the Blue Jays if he played for Toronto. That inning also featured a 2-run double from Cabrera to make it 9-1. After leadoff walk to Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt hit a double to make it 10-1. The Yankees, who also added a run in the bottom of the 8th, stopped the game, is already won. I don't know what that means. In the top of the 9th, Addison Barger hit his 3rd double of the season, which came off the bat at 112.5 miles per hour. That's good, at least. Let's look at the takeaways. Kevin Gausman did not have a good outing. His 53 pitches thrown in the 3rd inning matched a franchise record, and not in the good kind, set by Woody Williams on July 14, 1998. Ironically, or actually, scratch that. It's something completely off topic. Realistically, Gausman should have been pulled far earlier and shouldn't have faced Wells, who hit the bases clearing double. It was clear that Gausman wasn't getting back in the zone, and pulling him after the 3-1 game would have given them a chance to win. Both he and manager John Schneider were thrown out of the game. Paxton Schultz replaced Gausman, giving up 3 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings to bring his season ERA to 4.05. Josh Walker gave up an earned run and struck out 3 in his inning and 2/3 of work, while Dylan Tate also gave up an earned run in the inning and a third of work. Not a great game for pitching. This talks about the second game, so we'll skip over that. But it's not just on their pitching, as the Blue Jays failed to get it on an ace early, flying out with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Overall, they went 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position, not nearly good enough. Of the 11 hits the Blue Jays had, Bo Bichette, Addison Barger, and Alejandro Kirk had 2 hits, while Miles Straw had 3 hits keep up his good start of the season. So that's game one. Obviously, a very poor outing from Kevin Gausman, and just that 53 pitches in one inning. When I heard about that, I was mind blown, as Gausman is supposed to be one of our aces, and he most certainly has not had a good start to the season. Obviously, as I mentioned in the first episode, I haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch and enjoy a game. Hopefully, that'll change starting tomorrow. I'll hopefully actually be able to sit down and watch a full game and do an actual full-on game recap. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow, as well as Thursday. I believe they're playing Thursday as well. And they are back at home, starting either, I think it's today, they start a homestand. But let's move on to the second game. And then after that, we'll get into our little bit of Blue Jays news. So for the second game, same. It's not the same article, but it's by the same writer, Riley Delaney, and it starts: all the positive vibes this team had early in the season are gone. On Sunday evening, the Toronto Blue Jays fell 5-1 to the New York Yankees, suffering a doubleheader sweep and their third consecutive series loss. Not great, but let's take a look at what happened in this one. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. The Yankees jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning as Trent Grisham hit his 7th home run of the season. However, Anthony Santander got the Blue Jays on the board in the top of the third with a solo home run of his own, tying the game up at 1 each. It went downhill from there, though. Aaron Judge hit the game-winning run in the bottom of the 8th thanks to a solo home run, his 8th of the season. In the same inning, Jason Dominguez hit a line drive to score an additional run, followed by JC Escara's single to give the Yankees a 4-1 lead. There was no coming back from this for the Blue Jays. Escara hit a solo home run in the bottom of the 8th to give the Yankees a 5-1 lead. That was it for the Jays. Now let's look at the takeaways. The front office needs to sit down and have a realistic conversation about whether or not this team can contend for a postseason spot, let alone the World Series. Simply put, they cannot. This team has been plagued by the same issues last season: lack of power, lack of clutch hitting, reliever injuries, and shaky starters. We're only a month in, but the season is starting to unravel. After a win against the Seattle Mariners on April 18th, the Blue Jays have lost 7 of 8 to move their record to 13-15. They are now 4th in the American League East. I keep saying something needs to change, but realistically, what can they do? Chris Bassett gave the Jays a chance, giving up 1 run through his first 5 innings. However, he came undone in the bottom of the 6th, giving up 3 earned runs. Overall, Bassett finished with a line of 5.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts, to bring his season ERA to 2.62. The bullpen was fine, giving up an earned run in 2 1/3 innings. Once again, the Blue Jays, his bats were cold, registering just 3 hits. 1 belonged to Anthony Santander, who hit his 3rd home run of the season to move into a tie with Andres Jimenez for the team lead. That's crazy. Hearing that Santander and Jimenez are tied for the lead in home runs with 3 each. Wow. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and George Springer each hit a single. The Blue Jays return home on Tuesday for a 3-game homestand against the Boston Red Sox. Hopefully, their bats can get going, as it seems Dalton Varsho returns to the lineup. Maybe that's the change they need. So that's going to do it for that article. Speaking of Dalton Varsho, that is our Blue Jays news that we are going to be discussing. Once again, it's an article by Riley Delaney from Blue Jays Nation. The Toronto Blue Jays will be getting some reinforcements soon. On Sunday, the team made multiple transactions, according to Shai Davidi, recalling outfielder Jonathan Clase from AAA Buffalo as the 27th man for the doubleheader. The Jays also placed Ryan Burr on the 60-day injured list, opening up a spot on the 40-man roster. Sticking with relievers, Eric Swanson is set to begin a rehab assignment with the single-A Dunedin Blue Jays on Tuesday, while it looks probable that Dalton Varsho will return to the Blue Jays on Tuesday if all goes well in his final rehab assignment. Lastly, the Blue Jays re-signed Jacob Barnes to a minor league deal after he elected free agency this past week. So there's a lot to unpack here. Talking about Class A with the AAA Buffalo Bisons, the 22-year-old outfielder slashed 343, 452, and 400 with no home runs and 85 plate appearances, but he hit 4 doubles and stole 13 of 15 bases. He has a nice blend of speed, defensive ability, and power, even if he hasn't shown the latter much since the Jays acquired him for Jimmy Garcia. Burr has been out with a shoulder injury this season. Last season, he had a 4.13 ERA and a 3.07 FIP and 32.2 innings pitched. His strikeout percentage of 33.6% was the second highest on the team to Garcia before he was traded. Burr had been throwing bullpen sessions as recently as Friday. Like Burr, Swanson hasn't pitched for the Blue Jays this season as he's been out with a forearm issue. Swanson's 2024 was rough, starting the year cold and eventually being optioned to Buffalo before returning and pitching well in his final call-up. His return will help the bullpen. Varsho has also been out for the season. He had a strong spring training, but hit the injured list to begin the season and continued to rehab his shoulder, which required surgery in September. In spring training, he slashed 242, 297, and 697 with 4 home runs and 37 plate appearances for a 136 wins WRC. Plus, if he can hit like that while providing stellar defense, that'll be a big boost for the Jays. Lastly, Barnes was designated for assignment last Sunday and eventually elected free agency for a brief period. This season, Barnes has a 9 ERA and a 4.53 FIP and 8 innings pitched. It seems unlikely he'll be on the big league team again. So there's a little bit of Blue Jays news. And yeah, so the Jays start a homestand against the Boston Red Sox today. Technically, as of the recording of this video, it is technically Tuesday morning. But unfortunately, I will not be able to watch tonight's game as I have a softball game to play of my own. I play in a softball league, and we play every Tuesday. So Tuesdays are going to be a little tough. If there is any games that I might have to do a recap on, they might have to be put up the following day. But Wednesday, for sure, I will be watching the Jays and Red Sox game, as well as Thursday. So look forward to those game recap videos. Hopefully I can try and get them out the same day. If not, they will likely be up first thing in the morning. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the Inside Jays podcast and want to stay up to date on all your Blue Jays content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you're notified every single time we upload a video. If you're looking for us on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as TikTok at Inside Jays Pod. I believe it's, hang on. I believe Twitter is actually podcast. Sorry, let me just. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Sorry. On each one, it's Inside Jay's Pod. You can find us on social media there. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's go Blue Jays.